7 in 10 parents are reluctant to talk to their kids about money. I know my parents never did. Here to help teach your children about financial literacy, financial expert Lynn Richardson. Welcome back from her beautiful home and wherever that might be, Malibu or some island.
Yeah, it's my Zoom background in California. Don't get too jealous too fast.
Exactly. I was thinking maybe Dubai or something. It looks that fabulous. But Lynn, welcome back to the show. We always love when you're here. And the last time you were on this show, somehow we got to talking about this a little bit, I think, with my own daughter. So that's when we discovered we have both girls at Howard University. But what's the right age you should start talking to your kids about money, Lynn?
What a great question. The right kids to start talking to your kids about money is when they start talking. When you teach them how to read and you teach them how to count, you need to teach them how to count coins and dollars. Kids of all ages now are using iPhones. They are going to gaming systems and so on. So it's never too early to start having that conversation about currency.
Yeah, why do you think that parents are so reluctant? Like, my parents never talked about it. Did your parents talk to you about it?
I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, was it generational, Lynn?
You know, I don't think parents talk to their kids about anything that's uncomfortable. We don't want to talk about sex. We don't want to talk about dating. We don't want to talk about money. And the other reason is because we don't know enough about it ourselves. So either it's a conversation that's too uncomfortable to have, or it's a conversation where we don't have the knowledge. And parents want to be heroes to their children. So we want to tell them things we know about, like go to school, get an education, get a good job, wear clean underwear in case you get hit by a bus. So having those conversations come with us getting educated as well.
Okay, so you said start talking to them about it as soon as they can start talking, but are we talking about like actually savings and finances and all like investing and all that kind of stuff that early of an age?
Well, I think at an early age, toddler or so, then we want to start talking about how to count money. So if we're having a conversation about reading, we want to read about stories that have a business aspect or where the parent is going to the bank. We want to start to understand what a coin is, what a dollar is. Once they get to the age where they can actually read themselves, then that's the age where it's important for kids to understand that life is all about exchange. That they don't just get to come in the house and turn on the lights for free, or that the food on the table is free, or that even the roof over your head is free. So hiring your kids and having those conversations at that age gives them responsibility, and it gives them a real sense of meaning in this world.
Yeah, I remember being a kid and my mom would be somewhere and she'd be like, I don't have any money. And I said, just write a check. Just write a check. I had no concept of it, obviously.
Now it's use that ATM card.
Yeah, just use, yeah, exactly. Yes. Now, what about credit score? Because I remember being young and trying to get a car or whatever, and I had no credit, and having no credit is like having bad credit.
Yeah, having no credit is a step higher than having bad credit, but yes, many people will say that. Having no credit, you can still buy a home, you can still do many things. So if you are facing having no credit at all, one of the things that I recommend, and I did for all three of my daughters, is to make them an authorized user on one of my credit cards that had an excellent paying history when they were 12 or 13. By the time they turned 18 and could legally pull their own credit report, they had 700 credit scores. So it's important to start having those conversations early, get them in the game early, so when they enter their adulthood, they're entering at the top of the game and not at the bottom.
Do you trust Zoe on your credit card?
Yeah, well, I don't know. But you know what I was going to say is, I don't know about that, Ryan, but I don't know that most parents realize that you can even put your kid on a credit card to be an authorized user as young as that. Is there an age limit or age where it doesn't matter how old they can just be on your card as an authorized user?
I think the minimum age is probably 10. However, back in the day, my kids were able to have checking accounts. So many things have changed. If you want a checking account for your child, you have to get a custodial account now.
Sure.
But in many cases, there is no minimum age, and you can place a credit spending limit on that card. So if you have a $10,000 limit, you can give your child a $500 limit. It's one of the things that I do for my kids with my American Express when they travel, because American Express protects against, luggage being lost, travel delays, and so on and so forth. So they get the best of both worlds. They're authorized users on the credit card. There's a limit, and they have the same protection that I have when I travel.
Very, very nice. Yeah, and teaching them some responsibility as well. Okay, what about job opportunities, helping your children earn money or allowance versus getting a job?
Well, the first job that every child should have is working for their parent in their home-based business. Why? Because the IRS says you can get your money back. With all the changes happening in the economy right now, with the stock market, pending inflation, interest rates, it's so important for us to get every single tax write-off we possibly can. So if your 3-year-old works in your home-based business, helping around the house, taking out the garbage, maybe even doing some light filing duties, then the money that you pay that child is now a tax write-off, and the money you pay your child is what the child can now use for piano lessons and dance lessons and so on and so forth. Now imagine an older child, 13 or 14. My oldest daughter has been running my entire business since she was about 12 years old. She's just that smart. The next thing they could do, because most kids want a real job, they want a real job. They don't think working for you is a real job, although it pays real money. If they're looking for a real job, then look for opportunities to intern with your company, with your colleagues, to actually do some volunteer work as well. So every child, every young person, every kid who is being taken care of by a parent should have a job in their parent's home-based business. There are no labor laws. When a child works for a parent in the home-based business, there are no minimum or maximum hours, and there's no minimum on the time of day that they can work, as long as it's not hazardous work.
But there is a maximum on how much you can pay them, right? Is that correct?
Yes, you can pay each child up to $12,400 a year.
Okay.
That's an IRS publication 15, page 13. You can pay each child up to $12,400. That money is a tax write-off to you, and it's tax-free to your child. So it's the best of both worlds, finding a way. Imagine 2, 3, 4, or 5 children. This is a win-win way to get those expenses that you were going to pay for anyway, get those taken care of, get a tax write-off, and give your child some responsibility.
Wow, great tips. Yeah, the labor law was my biggest question, and you answered that. So
yeah, looks like I better start up Free by Val Warner again.
That's it.
Come on now.
Get your employees.
And if you,
It kind of went defunct.
Business Association. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. They always talk about me. I'm not a very good momtrepreneur. Lynn, thanks so much.
It's okay.
For more, yes, it's always good to see you. For more financial tips from Lynn, and to get a copy of her latest book, Get Your Money Back, Tax Deductions You Never Knew About, make sure you head to lynnrichardson.com. All right, coming